Welcome to Everlasting Talk. Hello, welcome to Everlasting Talk. I'm your host, Ever, and today in the Biography series, we're talking about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Before we get started, make sure to check out my link tree and the link below um, YouTube, Instagram, X, Twitch, Spotify, Blogger, and more. Um, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was one of the greatest composers in history of Western music. Let's get started. Born on January 27, 1756, in modern-day Salzburg, Austria, at the time part of the Roman Empire, or Holy Roman Empire. Sorry. Born to parents Leopold and Anna Marie, the youngest of seven children, but five of those children died at infancy. His father was himself a composer and a teacher and an author. Um, his full name, ready for this, right? Of Mozart is Johann Christosalem Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So it's a full name. One day, a young 3-year-old Mozart picked up an instrument and started playing. His father realized he had an incredible talent. Talent actually ran in the family. Like I said, his dad, Leopold, was also a composer. And also, his only surviving sibling, Anna Marie, also known as Nannerl, I don't know what that's a unique name, was also talented. She was also good with instruments. So Mozart was good on the harpsichord, violin, piano, organ, and viola. Leopold, his dad, was ready to take Wolfgang and Nannerl to perform for the courts of Bavaria and then play in Vienna for the imperial courts. His father saw so much potential, he decided to go full time helping Wolfgang and his sister go to different shows in the cities of Munich, Frankfurt, Brussels, Paris, Amsterdam, and many more from the years between 1763 to 1766. So yeah, he was like not even 10 years old. He was like 7 between the ages of like what? Like 6 or 7 to 10. He was playing at performances throughout Europe. And in 1765 he wrote his first symphony, and by 1773 he became a court musician under the ruler of Salzburg. Over time, by 1777, he would resign from his position in Salzburg. He decided to travel to Paris to hone his skills. Yeah, he feel like he wasn't paid that much in the Salzburg court, so he decided to leave. Sadly, he would come to find out his mother died on July 3rd, 1778. He would go and continue his work in Paris. By 1781, he found himself in Munich and Vienna. Um, yeah, it's kind of surprising. Like he was alive. I always thought he was alive during like the American Revolution. I always thought like it was way before that. Like you never really think about that. But by 1778, yeah, he was around. He was around during the American Civil Revolution. But as I said, he go to Paris by 1781. He found himself in Munich and Vienna. Um, he f- he would go ahead and try to hone his skills as a composer. And the time he met uh, his uh, his his bride to be, her name was I can't say it, Costanza. It was actually a sister of one of his exes, Aloysia. So he would go from the sister to the other sister. He missed one though. But eventually they got married on August 4th, 1782 in Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna. They would go and have six children. Unfortunately, like his own siblings, only two of them will survive past infancy. Unfortunately, at that time, people have a lot of kids, but the unfortunately, maybe majority of the children wouldn't survive past a certain age. But after his wedding, he would create the the uh, the the symphony called the Symphony Number 41, and Eventually, by 1785, things are paying off for him due to his concerts becoming more and more successful, especially with his work. Uh, this is in German, so I might not get it. Die Offering Arms Derm Sero, or aka the abduction von Serraglo. He would return to opera eventually and do many works as the Marriage of Figaro, Don Giovanni. And during this time, unfortunately, his dad Leopold died on May 28, 1787. Not seeing either of these works. And by 1788, fortunately, at that time, there's war and there was also economic issues in the country, but he would also see a loss of income and he moved out of the rich, wealthy area he lived in into the suburbs. He tried to save money, he started borrowing money from people. So it got really dire. I mean, sometimes there would be a flux of up and downs where he would go ahead and, they would have enough money to eat. Other times he would have to tell someone to borrow money. So that was unfortunate, especially with like him being a great composer himself. Eventually, Mozart started feeling ill by 1791 in September, and by November 1791, he suffered from swelling, pain, and vomiting. Unfortunately, he would pass away on December 5th, 1791, a month later, at the age of 35 years old. He was really young. I'm 34 now, so at the time of this recording, wow, he died really young. Um, there's no real cause of death. No one can really put their finger on it, especially now. But there's been stories that or theories it could have been a fever or influenza or kidney failure or mercury poisoning. There's so many different things, but there's no true way to know what actually died of. But yeah, he mysteriously passed away, and he was really young. So it was a shock to many people that he died so young. I didn't know that until I started researching him. I'm like, wow, he died young. These guys would be living to like 90 or something, but no, 35 years old. That's like not even a full life. Um, but upon his passing, like many celebrities out there, once they pass away, their works become more and more popular. Unfortunately, that happens to a lot of musicians. After they pass away, their works of art, their popularity skyrockets and things like that. So, but he would actually influence Beethoven and others, and Bach. I think I didn't mention, but he would work with Bach, and then obviously he met like a young Beethoven. So, fun fact about him: he produced over 600 pieces. Let's see what else. I could give you some names of some songs or some things he did. You could do look it up if you want. It's called Serenade Number 13, Symphony Number 40, the first movement, Allegro, overtime, the overture to the Marriage of Figaro, Rondo allo Turca, piano concert number 21, Amadeus, Requiem, or something like that. But yeah, those are some of his works, 600 pieces. If you guys want to look at some films, I do recommend some of these ones and some of these books. The film you could look at is Amadeus from 1984. That's a good one. Also, a more recent example, if you want to see something more in the last 10 years or so, 2017 Interlude to Prague. You check that out. Books. There's a book I looked up that I read. It's called Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, a biography from 2008 by Piero Megolani. But yeah, that was, unfortunately, that was a short life of Mozart. He was a genius. He revolutionized Western music by his works. Obviously, I gave you a list of some of his works. Check them out. You probably heard a lot of his music. You didn't know the history behind the man. Sometimes that's what happens. You know, like the artist, but you don't really know their lives. Obviously, he created 600 pieces in a lifetime. He was started composing since he was a little kid, so he had like 20, 30 years of work right there. So, who knows what would have happened if he lived, another 30, 40 years. He might have had 2,000 pieces of music. But unfortunately, that did not happen. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. on this episode. On the next episode, it's gonna be a controversial one, so be tuned. Next episode I'm gonna do is on Adolf Hitler. So you're sensitive to many, things like that. Skip it or just, see it the next one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode on Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Go to my, my links below. My, any links, any of my social media, YouTube, X, Instagram, Twitch, Spotify, Kick, Blogger, and thank you guys so much. And I'll see you at the next one. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Everlasting Talk. For more content, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Everlasting Talk. Thank you.